13 Easter eggs in Wonder Woman 1984 you may have missed. The year is 2020, and let's be honest, this year has sucked, really sucked. This year did more sucking than my Hoover vacuum. To make it worse, films, well, they've been lacking to say the least. Then, Wonder Woman 1984 drops in, and just in the nick of time, to give us a sure hit. It's all the right buttons for movie fans. Retro? Check. Pretty ladies? That can kick butt? Check. The dude that played such a great hero plays a great villain? Check. So, with such a smash hit written so well, it's likely you may have missed some kickin' Easter eggs. Odds are to its comic past, which is, well, frickin' awesome. From little-known corporations like Stag Enterprises that are in the background, and little-known to the main villains. Wonder Woman 1984 gets much of its storyline from the extended DC comic universe. Being that it is set in 1980s, oh, how I miss the 80s. So many great things came from the 80s. Wait, I was from 1981, so that proves that. Anyways, moving on. There are also many nods to American culture touchstones from the 1980s. 80s good times, oh yeah, including the time period clothes, stores, and of course, rock and roll music. So without waiting another moment longer, let's cut off our sleeves of our favorite band, throw on some parachute pants, let's jump into Wonder Woman 1984. Missed Easter eggs, without the armor, let's watch the Mandalorian actor be as bad as he wants to be. Number 1, Wonder Woman's lightning powers. Yeah, they came from Daddy. Well, we think so. Wonder Woman's comic book character has been around for, well, a lot of decades, so her origin story is never exactly the same. The 52 Arrow one, she's the daughter of Zeus. Wow, that is cool. Is he a cool dad, do you think, or like a super strict? Okay, a little off topic, moving on. Like, he is the god of lightning, but sadly, for me anyways, not in this film, necessarily. But did you see what she did with reacting lightning in the OG Wonder Woman? And in this 1984, swinging for them like Spider-Man? Whoa, so cool. What a great nod to this origin story. Number 2, the secretary of Steve Trevor apparently lived a long life. Blink and you miss this scene. But early in the film, when we see inside Diana's sick apartment, we peruse around the room, well, the camera does. There are a few photographs of Steve Trevor, of course. That's the love of her life. But anyways, there's also a photo of Diana with a woman, the kind of old kind. This woman just happens to be Etta Candy, Trevor's secretary from the first Wonder Woman. So that's kind of cool and really shows that she missed her Stevie Poo as she kept in touch and in his life despite his absence. Number 3, Waiting Forgot It, Gal. Remember Samuel Beckett's Waiting Forgot It? Yeah, that classic play about two men having wide-ranging discussion while waiting around for the titular got it to arrive. Spoiler, never shows. The actress in Wonder Woman 1984 is played by Gal Gadot. It's kind of close. A stretch, well, we tried. Hey, we thought it was enough of a connection. The homeless guy in the park to be reading, now wait for it, Waiting for Gadot. See what I did there? When Diana walks by about midway through the film. Number 4, Operation Wolf. Video game is in the mall arcade. Some might say, slightly too early. Before the mayhem and chaos in the mall at the start of the film, our peepers see some kids in an arcade. A few of them are playing a game, and it's called Operation Wolf. This is peculiar though, because the game was first released in 1987, just a few years after the film is set. Number 5, Defunct 80 bands. Yeah, the mall is full of them. The earliest scenes, well, one of them in the film, features Wonder Woman kicking the crap out of these lowlifes in the mall. This could be one of the most 80s part of the film. The ball was lit! Or was it tubular? Anyways, I was never cool, as the mall features several stores that are no longer, like Chess King and Commander Salamander. That last one being best known as longtime staple of Georgetown, Virginia. Also, while it's not technically defunct yet, there's also JCPenney store in the mall. I mean, it's close. Like, really, really close. Number 6, the Dreamstone has a history in comic books, but the movie takes some liberty and makes its origin, well, different. For most of the film, our knowledge of the stone is that it grants everybody's wishes. Just one, though. and that it hurts the wisher in some way. Always some fine print. At some time in the film, we hear the thing is called the Dreamstone, and that it more than likely came from Dalos. You know, the god of lies. I don't like that guy. Fun fact, kiddos, this is actually a mixture of two different things in the DC universe. Originally, the Dreamstone, also called the Meteorpiticon, and I know you're going to correct me on that. Dr. Destiny created that little guy to try and defeat the Justice League, and its primary power is showing the world as it isn't. You know, an illusion. Dalos has nothing to do with it in the comics. Number 7. Stag Enterprises, a company that is from the comics. Stag Enterprises is a fairly generic big business in the comics. The company appears to be a part of everything, from maps to phones to gas, of all things. In 1984, Stag Enterprises makes an appearance as an investor in Max Lord's Black Gold Cooperative. Although brief, Stag goes down, like for real. Number 8. We got to see Wonder Woman's invisible plane. Well, kinda. The Lasso of Truth is one of Wonder Woman's signature gadgets, but she also has had her invisible jet too. We finally get to see it in 1984, though in a much different way. In the comics, the plane itself is invisible, but in 1984, Diana herself can make anything invisible, even though it was only her second time going from a coffee cup to a full-size fighter jet. Is pretty awesome. Number 9. The 80s Galaxy Records, from the 80s, obviously, make an appearance. Galaxy Records was an old jazz music label, well mostly. It met its demise in 1990s, but not before releasing records by genre staples you might have heard of, such as B.B. King and Hank Jones. A storefront version of the company exists in 1984. Number 10. Punk cred is earned with a Minor Threat poster. Not like a minor threat, that's like what the band, never mind. Some say hardcore punk music hit its stride in the early 1980s, and one of the most notable bands from the era was Minor Threat. Rock on! As Barbara walks into Galaxy Records, we see a poster specifically advertising an upcoming Minor Threat concert. Sadly, the band broke up in 1983, so that must be a crazy old poster indeed. Number 11. A fictional country in the comics called Byalia is mentioned. Just after Max Lord becomes the Dreamstone, he gets a helicopter ride to Egypt, courtesy of the President of the United States, to meet with Emir Said bin Abydos, who wishes for the return of his ancestral realm. Who wouldn't? The land of Bylalian dynasty, Byalia, is a fictional country in the comics set somewhere in the Middle East. This is also an important country for Black Adam, who will be portrayed by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. The upcoming DC film, Black Adam, the sequel to Shazam. Number 12. The natural life of the gorilla might have hidden relevance. Diana Prince is clearly a real smart woman. Her shelf is loaded with books, you know, the ones like with no pictures? One in particular is The Natural Life of the Gorilla. This is not real, but could possibly allude to DC Comics' Gorilla City. If this is true, that could set up large future implications of the franchise, as Gorilla City houses multiple Flash characters, including villain Grodd and friend King Solivar. Number 13. The original Wonder Woman actress makes a cameo. Okay, it is in the mid-credits sequence. We get an appearance from the fabled Astria. Finally, for those who don't know her or remember her, she is the one that stayed behind to help the Amazons escape, and whose freaking amazing golden angel armor with the cool whooshing wings, you can picture it, is so awesome. And then Diana, she put it on. She flew through the air with it on. Awesome. Hey, I'm a flying scene kind of guy, And she defeated Cheetah, and in the end of the movie, and needed it. You see those Easter egg alert. Astria is played by none other than Linda Carter. This actually is a huge, big, giant deal cameo, because Carter famously played, you guessed it, Wonder Woman in the 1970s television series, yet another time, as awesome as the 80s, and arguably better than 2020. Did you catch any of these? Tell us in the comments. I'm Joe Todd for Animated Times. Subscribe, share, follow, like, and comment for more awesome content from here at Animated Times.